Hey guys, how we doing? Happy Wednesday. Sorry, there we go. All right, now I can see it. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Josh Wellston here again with Prasino St. Charles. And I brought my friend Sean O'Brien back with me this week.
How are you? How's everybody doing?
Thanks for being here today. I wanted to say a quick thank you to you guys. I'm logging in here onto the chat, and this is the third live interactive tasting that we've done with you, and this has been yet the biggest one. We even changed up the setup a little bit to incorporate the charcuterie board that everybody got, and the wines this week with the Italian wines. Sean, thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
And continually they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So at the end of the video today, we're going to talk about the next tasting that we're going to do. But just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate everybody out there, and everybody's had great things to say about what we're doing, and it's just been super cool, and I have a ton of fun doing this. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Sean, why don't you give us the basic rundown of the wines we're going to talk about today, and then talk a little bit about, this region of the world and why it is so important to winemaking and wine drinking.
Well, I'm glad to be here tonight. I love Italian wines. That's one of my favorite parts of the world. Tonight we're featuring the Scaia Bianca, the JD Vira Lang Rosso, and the Masita Cabernet. Three of my favorite wines. They're very drinkable. I enjoy them quite a bit. I love Italian wines because I think they have a lot to offer people who might not necessarily have been drawn to old world wines. I think they have, something for everybody. They have 400 grapes that they're allowed to use.
Yeah.
400 different varieties. They have up to 2,000 sub-varieties or clones. So if they don't have it in Italy, I don't think that wine exists.
It doesn't
but I think
exist.
It's delicious. Yeah. Great wines, and they cover any price points, so I think they have something for everybody.
Well, I think one of my favorite things about Italian wines in particular is that they are maybe the most important food wine out there.
Yeah.
These wines were grown or made with the idea of eating a meal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the Scaia Bianca, it's rich, it's full of tropical fruits, great flavors, but it's got great acidity. So, that acid helps clean your palate. It makes food taste better. It makes, it's very refreshing. But yeah, I mean, if you're like the charcuterie board here, I think the Scaia is just a natural pairing.
I think all three of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love them all.
Well, let me touch base on that, because honestly, that's one of the reasons we wanted to do the charcuterie board with the sampling tonight. And I got a lot of good reviews from people who were picking it up, and they were impressed at what was in the box for them. So that's awesome. But Chef wanted to do this, and he wanted to get some food in front of you guys, make this a bigger event, do something different. And when he wanted to do this, the first thing we thought about was doing Italian wines. So I was really happy that this came together this way. And just real quick for you guys out there, everybody that has this charcuterie board in front of them, there are a couple differences in each one of them, but the idea is pretty much the same across the board. You have the pate Grand Mère or pate Campagna. We have Serrano ham, cherries that have been soaked in cognac, Maytag blue cheese, cracked mustard, pickled onions, and then a little bit of the crostinis as well. Hopefully you and I get to enjoy it just as much as everybody else, of course. But I don't think that this could be more of a perfect situation as far as what wines we're drinking and as well as what food we're eating. So I'm really excited about it. Do we want to move into the first wine?
Absolutely. Scaia
Cheers
Bianca.
as always,
Yeah.
sir. Happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers to you guys
Chin,
out
chin.
there.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us. So a lot of you guys have been with me a couple of times through this. We talk about that tasting sheet that I put in the box for you. Same layout, same idea of just a few basic tasting notes with the wines, how to do it, how to purchase them if you want to, and using the backside to look at the wine. That's one of the first things we want to do. So take your wine, hold it over that page, and if you've got another white surface or anything like that at home, you can do that, but this is easier for us since I'm looking at a brown table. Take it over the page and just kind of get an idea of what that wine looks like. This is how we start. This is the process we do. We look at the wine. And for me, light, strawy, golden color, but, not too prominent in the glass. It's very clean looking.
Yeah, well, maybe just a tiny tint of green.
Yeah,
but,
maybe, yeah.
it's really I look at the summer colors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, guys, this wine is a 55% Garganega, 45% Chardonnay blend. For those of you in the wine world, or actually anywhere in any of the world that has no idea what Garganega is, it is a Italian white grape. It's an important white grape. It's used in a lot of blends. And if you've ever come across a wine called Soave, that this is the primary grape in that wine. So it's lean, it's dry, it's got a little bit of fruitiness to it. It really blends well with the Chardonnay and kind of gives it a more of a tropical fruit sensation than most of your typical Chardonnays would have.
And it's very aromatic, so you really pick up those tropical notes right off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. For me, there's orange zest is a big one for me that comes out of the glass. It's just me personally, but that's the one I pick up. I'd love to see the comment section of you guys if anybody's trying this yet on things that you're picking up off this wine. Sean and I are drinking it a little bit more at room temperature. So it's going to be a little different than it would be if it was cold out of your whatever storage you guys have been keeping these in. But for us, that really brings out the wine. That's with most wines. The less cold they are, the more floral, the more aromatics, the more everything you're going to get out of the wine. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about it in the comment section. Michelle loves the smell, so we're getting on a good start. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
We are featuring this wine here at the restaurant tonight on the Wine Wednesday menu, and we opened up a bottle of it for the staff yesterday, and the staff loves this wine. They absolutely think it's amazing, and we may have to consider doing something with it, because if we sell out of it tonight, I'll buy more.
Yeah. I can have it here tomorrow.
All right, so let's get a little smell. Let's see what's going on.
Beautiful nose, absolutely beautiful.
I actually really love this wine. I really love this one.
Very vibrant, crisp. It's fresh. Great fruit notes on it.
Yep.
But it's very well balanced, and one thing doesn't really shine more than the other.
Even with all those tropical fruits in it, it's not too tart.
Yeah.
You think about a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, or you think about something that's big fruit flavor, has a tendency to be kind of tart on the mouth. This doesn't have that
This
at all.
makes your mouth water too.
Yeah.
It makes you, like I say, with food, it definitely makes food taste, better.
Speaking of food,
Yeah.
let me get into this little situation right here. I hope you guys are enjoying this at the house. Thanks for picking them up. Thanks for enjoying it with us.
I'm gonna go with the cheese.
Yeah.
Try not to.
I'm going to start
Make a
with
mess.
the ham, the Serrano ham, and see what's happening with that. All of the stuff you guys are having, excuse me while I talk with my mouth full of food, goodness gracious. Everything you're having was made here in-house. The pate, the Serranos, the pickled onions, the cherry soaked in cognac, everything made here at the restaurant. So I went on the website to, as much as Sean and I think we know about these wines, we do our research too. And I went on this website for the Skya wine and looked up just some tasting notes and some basic information, Northern Italy region, that kind of thing. And on the home page of the wine website, it has a tasting note that says this wine goes well with whitefish, vegetables, light sauces, and vegetable risottos and light fruits. So that, I can't make that up. I actually have the website pulled up here. And one of Chef's features tonight, I'm going to read this, so forgive me, is a pan-seared halibut with a Meyer lemon risotto, candied almonds, Brussels sprouts, and green onions. That couldn't be more of a perfect situation than anything. I can't even begin to make that sound better. So the feature that we have in the restaurant tonight, this bottle of wine, according to the website, is exactly what you should be eating and drinking. So there you go.
And if it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
It's got to be true.
Yeah,
It absolutely. So Susan chimed in here. So Michelle Ingerson, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the names, but really expected it to be really sweet, and it's not. What a great surprise. Another wine to add to our list. That's awesome. I love that. And then Susan Delfini said, very nice wine, first timer here. She loves the concept. Super cool. Thanks for being with us, Susan. We are having a great time doing this, and hopefully it keeps getting bigger and better. Like I said, at the end of this one, we'll talk a little bit about the ideas of what we're going to do the next time. So take your time, finish up what you got in your glass. I am going to. I really like this wine. Is everybody enjoying the pate and the little bit of charcuterie that we put on there? I hope you are. It all looks amazing, smells amazing. Don't be shy, help yourself.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might have to try some of this.
So again, with the French wines, or Italian wines, I'm sorry, it has a lot to do with region, just like we talked about last time with the French wines that we did. It's not so much about the grape. It's not so much about, what's going on. It's more about where they're growing it, what they can grow, where they grow it, and what comes from those wines. And we're going to talk about this next wine being just simply called a Rosso. Means, technically it's a blend. And, those grapes aren't even listed on the bottle. We don't have them there. It's just something you have to know or look up and find out what's in it. So again, more about region, more about where it's from, and less worry about what the actual grape is. Although then we changed the whole scene with the last one when they called it Cabernet. So.
Yeah, but if you look at where it's from the Piedmonte region of Italy, so northern Italy. So Nebbiolo is king. That grape is king. The number
king
one.
Of Italy.
Yeah. So that this wine is a blend of Nebbiolo, Barbera, and Dolcetto.
Yes.
Those are the major grapes in that wine. But I think this is one of my favorites. The first time I tasted it, I fell in love with it. And I think it's good for all occasions. Any type of red meat, obviously it would be a natural pairing. The charcuterie would be a natural pairing. But if you're just looking to mellow out after dinner and have a great glass of wine, this is absolutely stunning wine for that.
So we are going to move on to the next wine, guys, but something Sean just said is that for me, this wine is exactly what this charcuterie board is about. The pate, the ham, the cognac cherries, all of that, the blue cheese, oh my gosh. So with all of the wines, take your time and enjoy these things with the food that you got in front of you. But for me, without trying the wine yet, for me, this is the wine I think that would shine out with this most. So I'd love to know what you guys think about this one for sure. All right, so on the nose, Sean, what do you got going on?
You get violet.
For sure.
You get a little bit of, I think, dark, rich fruits.
Floral.
You get just a tiny bit of oak, a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Tiny
yeah,
bit.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you look at it too, that's I think when you start looking at Italian wines too. We've always talked the last time about when you look at the color of the wine over a white mat. This is deep, dark, violet hues to it. You don't see a lot of brick colors. You don't see, lighter colors. So it kind of gives you an indication that there's not a lot of age. This is a 2018. It's not a lot of acid in this. So I mean, it kind of, just right off the bat, I'm thinking, rich fruit, I think this is going to be, very drinkable right away.
I would agree. Without even trying it.
It doesn't have to have any age on it. On the nose, it's absolutely marvelous.
Talk about, we mentioned it a little bit, but talk about Nebbiolo. It is the king of Italy.
Yeah.
And how many wines that come from Italy have Nebbiolo in them?
It's I can't say for the whole of Italy, but from where it's from, Piemonte, it's it's king. So you'll see the most common people that they'll know that Barolo is all 100% Nebbiolo, and then Barbaresco is Nebbiolo as well.
Right.
And then the larger region that that surrounds it is Lang. And that's predominantly Nebbiolo as well. I think the second most popular or most used grape in that area is Barbera.
Yep, absolutely.
So this wine does have some Barbera, and as well as Dolcetto, which is another indigenous grape in northern Italy. But whenever I hear Nebbiolo, I get excited because I know it's going to be a big, beautiful, lush, lavish wine.
My wife my wife, God love her, does not like Italian wines. But she does let me partake in the occasional cigar on the back deck. And when I'm sitting out there, for me, not for everybody, of course, but just that hint in this wine. It's not an overpowering thing, but there's an air of the tobacco-y kind of leathery spice to this that I really like, that it makes it stand out, but it's still really smooth. Michelle just said the same thing. Very smooth.
Yeah.
Very drinkable, ready to go. I love this one.
And it's all about location, too, and especially up there, Barolo, the terroir, the elevation, that particular part of northern Italy. It's going to be a little bit different. Let's say you go 100 miles south, and it's going to be different. So, I mean, it's about the location. It's also about the winemaker. What is the message is the winemaker trying to communicate to, people through his wine? So everybody has a little bit of a different interpretation. Everybody does things maybe just a little bit different. There's a lot of people that are very unique that do things, just a little bit different. So
I would agree with you 100%.
I think when you find a winemaker like Vira, their entire portfolio is outstanding. So I think it's great to go through the portfolio and try each different wine and kind of see why this is different from this. It's really interesting. It's really fun.
So all of the little bottles that we gave you guys in your tasting packet, we tried to make them look cute and put the little label on them. But Sean already said it. This is pronounced Vira. It is from Piedmont, like we said. And one more time, Nebbiolo, Barbera, and Dolcetto. Those are the three main grapes in this wine. I love this one. This is wonderful.
It takes me to my happy place.
Yeah?
Yeah. Happy place.
Oh, very good. Even a little bit of like plum. A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just like a little bit of graphite, you get
The pencil shaving.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So I didn't talk about the last one, this one as well. Again, because of you guys viewing at home, enjoying with us, we do the special pricing for you. I do have some wines here at the restaurant that a couple of you have already ordered from us that we need to figure out how to get to you. Let me know how to do that. I'll be happy to do it. But you can order this with us. This first one, the Skaya, the Garganega and Chardonnay blend, is going to be $14 a bottle for just you guys. And then the Vira is going to be $15 just for you guys. That's on your sales sheet that you have in the box. But just wanted to reiterate that for you so you knew. That's just a price for anybody doing the video. The only one we're featuring in the restaurant tonight is the Skaya. But if there's a good call for it, or if anybody's loving it, I'll be happy to bring in and get the other wines for you guys. So absolutely. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, the charcuterie is out of this world too.
It really is.
Fabulous.
I hope you guys like it because it just, for me so far, it's amazing. There was I'll plug my mom again. You guys are used to me doing that. She even did a cocktail party tonight. She had some friends over, some family over, and they were going to put it up on the computer and talk to everybody, drink the wine together, have a little party, and I thought that was kind of cool. So thanks, Mom. Susan loves the charcuterie board, especially the pate. I'll tell you what, I just had one of those cognac soaked cherries and this wine. You should do that. If you still have a little bit of wine in your glass, that little cognac soaked cherry for all of you guys and this wine, oh my gosh, it's fantastic. One of our new chefs, we talked about him for a minute a couple of videos ago. His name's Joshua Paletti. He's here at the restaurant. And one of his specialties is charcuterie, and he did almost all of this. The pate is his for sure, and the cherries are his for sure. So it's nice to be able to have that option in the restaurant, for sure.
If I worked here, I'd probably be in the kitchen bothering them all the time.
I have to ask for as much fish as possible because otherwise I would eat this all the time. Yeah. Oh, see, they just poked in. Chardine's there, loving it. Cherries are great. I believe she's with my mom, so they're all together.
Oh, wow.
My aunts and uncles are having a good time. So, like I said, thanks, Mom. Thanks for the support. I love you. No rush for any means, but I'm ready for a little bit more wine, and if it's okay with you, Sean.
You want to do the Vira?
Let's do a little bit more of the Vira. I'm gonna enjoy that. We got some food going on. You guys take your time, but I'm really loving this wine, so I just want another little sip. Little sip, Sean.
That's a little sip.
Little sip, okay.
A little dabble, do you?
The cherries are great with this. Thanks, Amanda. You guys have been here for every one of these things, so thank you again so much. Like I said, I enjoy this. This is one of my things that I love to do, talk to you guys about wine, talk to people about wine, enjoy it with food, and the fact that we're doing it virtually right now and everybody's chiming in, super cool, super cool. So thanks again, everybody, appreciate it. A little bit more sippy. Beautiful day today. It's I think we're at the tail end of our beautiful days as far as most people are concerned. I'm a cold weather person, so I'm ready for cold weather, cigars, and red wine.
Not necessarily in that order, but yeah.
Doesn't have to be.
I'm looking forward to fall.
I think we're going to skip fall.
Go straight into winter?
I just have a feeling.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Michelle Ingerson's sister would love this wine. Let me know, Michelle. I'm happy to get it for you. I mean, no pressure. Forgive me, I'm not a salesman like that. But if you guys need anything from me, I'm just here for you. So that's all that's about. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's enjoying themselves. So let's talk about it for a minute while we're taking a fiver. We're going to take next week off. And we've got some new things happening at the restaurant, new menus, new food items, some cool stuff happening. Chef's really gotten behind everything that's going on. He always has been, forgive that statement. But we're going to take a week off just to kind of come up with some new ideas. But we have some ideas. We're going to reconvene on the 28th, which is a Wednesday still. And there's some big ideas for that one. I'm just going to allude to a couple of things. Nothing set in stone, but there's an idea of maybe doing kind of a 50-50 tasting where we will invite people to the restaurant here to do a live in-person tasting, as well as still stream it on the Facebook Live page and YouTube. We are doing YouTube now, guys, so if you prefer to use that platform, you can. And do a 50-50 where you can either do virtual if you want to stay home and still pick up your samples, or you can come here to the restaurant. So don't quote me on that. There's a lot of details we're working out for that, but we will be doing a tasting on the 28th for sure. And if we can work it out, we might have it here, and I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I agree. Can't decide which is better, the wines or the charcuterie. Now, careful, Gail.
Oh, Gail.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys are enjoying yourselves. I really am. I appreciate it. Excellent wine, Sean. Excellent. Thank you.
And it's good when you're tasting wines too. You know, especially if you're at home, you open a bottle, and as the wine opens up, how the flavors develop, and they kind of change a little bit after let's say 20, 30 minutes go by. You start picking up things that you really didn't notice the first time around. So I think it's really great to, you get a wine like this, you spend some time really, extracting all the flavors, you notice stuff that you didn't notice right off the bat.
Well, and for everybody at home, these wines that they're enjoying, that you guys are enjoying tonight, they've been open for a minute. So the little sample bottles that we're using has that resealable locking cap on it, and I really love those. But they've been open for a day, so they've had time to breathe. They're not straight out of the bottle, and so hopefully you guys are getting to enjoy these wines exactly the way they should be enjoyed and not needing to breathe because they've already had time to do that. So Michelle said, any chance you would do champagne for the holidays? Michelle, that's a great question, and we actually talked about that a couple days ago. The problem with champagnes is the bubbles. It's hard to pour a pre-sample bottle of bubbles and put a top on it, send it to you on a Tuesday, and hopefully still be as effervescent as it needs to be on Wednesday night. It was a great conversation that we had the other day. Was it you and I that talked about it? I don't
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And it's a great idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to do a champagne tasting with you guys, but that would have to be something we do in person. It won't translate in a take-home situation unless you guys wanted to buy a full bottle of champagne and crack it open the evening of. So she just said, take a full bottle of champagne, no worries. I love that.
So what is your favorite champagne pairing?
Oysters.
Oysters?
Oysters, without question. I'll tell my wife I forgive her for this, but I enjoy all seafoods. When we got together, she was a little bit more shy on the seafood thing, and over the years we've been together, she has come to love almost everything, and so much so oysters.
Yeah.
And for me, a good glass of bubbles and a good East Coast oyster, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
But it's if you're looking for pairing ideals and like you've got something that stumped you and you can't figure out what to pair with it, put champagne. Because champagne pairs with anything.
It's a true story.
My favorite is fried chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
Fried chicken, champagne, you can't beat it.
I think we have to have a Monday night dinner date here.
Fried chicken and
Fried
champagne.
chicken and champagne. If you guys are interested, let's talk about a dinner.
That's the only way to fly.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, red wines, pairings, everybody talks about red meat. They talk about red sauces. There's a local restaurant here in St. Louis that does a veal parmesan that is one of my favorite things, and they have a real small selection of wines on their list, but any of the red wines goes great with that, so I enjoy that.
Yeah, and I've worked in a lot of restaurants. I've worked on this end of the business, and people, we always look at pairing, what is a logical pairing for something, but I think, a lot of times, you can't talk a person that doesn't like white wine into white wine.
No, it's not going to happen.
I go, but I think just go with what makes you happy. A lot of times too. There's like a specific style of wine that just makes you happy.
Well, we talk about that here at the restaurant every night. I mean, if someone comes in and asks me what wine they should drink with a dish, it doesn't, whatever the dish might be. You just said it. I mean, if you don't like Chardonnay and I'm going to pair a Chardonnay with your dish, then it doesn't matter. You're not going to enjoy that glass of wine. Yeah. So I always ask people, I'm like, do you want a food pairing or do you want to drink what you like? Yeah. You know what I mean? Do you want to enjoy? Because if you don't like it, you ain't going to like it.
Yeah. But that's why I think like events like this, having a tasting like this, I think it's wonderful to give people the opportunity to try stuff that they probably necessarily wouldn't try, but it's
exactly.
This is a great situation to really open doors up, and I hope people who are watching and tasting these wines, maybe they haven't had Italian wines before, or they haven't had a Nebbiolo, now they have, and it's like there's lots of different places to go with it.
Well, I mean, for me, even the Garganega Chardonnay blend. I mean, I could probably name. We're pretty full here in the restaurant right now, and I'm willing to bet that 92% of the people in this restaurant have no idea what a Garganega is.
I worked at a few places before too, and I usually drink Chardonnay, but I want to try something different. I'm like, try a Suave or try this Sky Bianca. Chances are, if you like this, you're gonna like this wine here. And that's great for having you in a restaurant like this. You're able to get that relationship with that customer, and then let them try something different.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do about my job. All right, shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to Sicily, Cabernet.
Yep.
So usually, guys, we talk about this. We talked about this last week with the French wines, but traditionally in old world winemaking countries, European countries, France, Italy, Spain, they don't necessarily label the bottle with what the grape is. It's usually more about the region. It's usually more about the house, things like that, the chateau. But this is a new school approach to labeling the wines to tell people what's in the bottle. And as an American consumer, that's important to a lot of people, especially if we don't have the time to try to educate ourselves on the wine, or we all live busy lives, things like that. So when you walk into a wine shop and you see a Lang Rosso, not everybody knows what that is. Yeah. But if you walk in and you see that it says Cabernet, then you feel a little bit more comfortable buying that wine. This is a relatively new wine, as you said, Sean. So this is a little while. Yeah. This is the first time I've had this wine, so we're drinking this together. Yeah. I did a little bit of homework on it. Sean, tell me a little bit about it, because you said yourself it's relatively new to the scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had it for a little while, but it's a popular Cabernet. Everybody knows Cabernet, but it's grown in a non-traditional, place.
Sure, absolutely.
So Sicily, if you think about it, it's a little bit warmer. This is on the western side of Sicily, a little bit higher elevation, so it kind of moderates the temperature. But it's Cabernet, and it's you really taste the terroir, you taste where it's from. So it gives you a lot of information. When you look at it, it has some dark garnet colors.
This is a little bit darker than the wine we just had.
Yeah, a little bit more, medium to full bodied.
Yep. I put it on your guys' bottles, and I'm sorry I don't know off the top of my head. Can you see what the alcohol percentage is on the back of that bottle?
That is 13.5%.
So in the grand scheme of Cabernets, and something else to talk about, I mean, traditionally, European old school wines, their alcohol content is a little bit softer than the American ones, or Australian, things like that. New World places, we have a tendency to make them a little bit more high alcohol percentage. These are wines that can be enjoyed throughout the day, not worrying about having to take a nap at 5 o'clock unless you go to bed at 5 o'clock.
Naps are good.
But so, yeah, it's a little bit lighter than an everyday California, West Coast American Cabernet. But that makes it more food friendly. That makes it more all day friendly. That makes it just in general more palatable to drink whenever you want to. It doesn't have to be a certain time. So I'm looking forward to this one. I have not had this yet. This is the first for me.
All right.
Yep. Little black pepper.
Yeah.
Little spice, just a little bit.
A little bit of spice on the nose, absolutely.
That's nice.
Rich, dark fruit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dry.
Yeah, very dry.
Nice and dry.
Yeah.
I challenge you guys to revisit those cognac cherries with this. That or the pate. Most of you have the pate Grand Mère. Some of you have the pate Campagna. No need to go into the differences because it doesn't really matter. But I challenge you guys to do the pate, blue cheese, or cognac cherries with this wine. Revisit that situation because this would be really solid.
One reason I love this wine too is it's where it's grown, and you look at a lot of places where wine is grown and you can't put machines in there. You can't, it has to be hand picked, and this wine is hand picked. So when you do stuff like that, somebody is looking at the actual cluster of grapes. If it's a large mechanized machine, it doesn't look at the grapes, just everything gets shooken. It ends up in a big vat. This is hand picked, so, people are like, oh, you can look at it and go, okay, this one's not ready. So they can go back and revisit the vine, wait till the grapes are in the exact, perfect conditions.
Absolutely.
And, so you get more craft, you get more, people are more invested into this wine. So the end result is just a great glass of wine, partially aged in French oak, so you can kind of pick up some of those flavors too. But this one, I think it's just marvelous.
Well, I like and everything you were just saying. This is not a West Coast California American Cabernet. This is not big fruit. This is not over extracted flavors. This is not big high alcohol. There's earth to this wine. There's terroir to this wine. You already said that, but even there's a hint of lavender on this for me, and just that tells me that all of the care that went into making this wine, it wasn't just about making a bottle of wine. It was about making something.
And it's about letting the grapes do the talking.
Yeah.
And just the winemaker and everybody in the vineyard just kind of guides things along in the right path.
Yeah. I have a saying. A lot of my sommelier friends and people that I've learned from over the years, I mean, even if we've learned from each other. I have a saying that, and this is my own saying, don't quote me on this, don't, take this to the bank, but New World winemakers, Americas, Australia, New Zealand, they make wine. They make a wine, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's fantastic. We make great wines. But European countries, old world countries, Spain, Italy, France, they grow wine. The wine is grown. So the grapes grow in the earth. They absorb the natural terroir, like you said, the area around them, everything that's going on. They take all of that essence, and then they take the juice, they introduce the skins, they ferment it into alcohol, but there's not a whole lot of secondary, third kind of processes that change the flavor of what this was grown to be. This is what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's a real big movement in wines today. Minimal intervention. And what they're doing in the winery. How are you taking care of the land? Are you good stewards of the land? Are you what are you going to leave for the next generation? And
For sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
sustainability for that part of the world. And a lot of the people, really, everything got modernized, but I think, you'll see a big trend of things getting back to the basics, back to, that old world sensibilities, before, all the science got involved into it. I mean, science is necessary,
Well, of course it is.
but, I think, when you look at some of these old world styles of wine, especially in Italy, they are getting back to the basics, where, it's a farm, you have farm animals, you have, you don't have lots of machinery running around the wineries, you have it's a whole real natural approach to it nowadays.
Some of the comments are coming in. Delicious. Cherries and blue cheese are great with it. Michelle just said, you need a roaring fire and some snow for this one. I think it's great for the holidays.
There we go.
Man, Michelle, we were talking about this. I'm a cold weather person at heart, and I love the fact that the weather's changing. Red wine's one of my favorite things to drink. And what you were saying, the reason I got into wine was the romanticism behind the wine. And I can't remember if I said this already. I like relaying stories to everybody, but there's a movie, I'm not going to say what it is, but they have a tasting box, or a smell box, if you will. And they say that all of these little bottles, take the cap of the bottle off, and you smell what's in the bottle. And it could be lavender, it could be orange zest, chocolate, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that's how you train your palate and you train your olfactory senses to learn what all these smells are. But that scene in that movie about him holding the bottle of lavender up, to the person, and her tasting and smelling the wine, and then finding the lavender in the wine, that whole process of winemaking was why I got into this.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. It's my favorite thing.
That's why it takes me forever to go to the grocery store, because I like to go in and, especially the herbs and the vegetables, what's that smell like, and then try to take it back to a specific wine that I tasted.
For sure.
But, and also, these are great stocking stuffers, too. If you got somebody that's hard to buy for around the holidays,
Here you go.
stick a bottle of wine. They won't be disappointed.
I don't think I would be.
Yeah.
This one for you guys, we talking about this, $14 a bottle, guys. This is a great wine. Again, just for you, just for here at the restaurant. You can email me, you can call the restaurant, you can show up. I have a list of everybody that does this with us. You can use my business card. My cue card director, if you will, that's sitting behind the scenes over here is fashioning to me, and he's just far enough away that I can't see everything he's doing. So
That's probably good.
no, so yeah, the first one, the Skaya guys, $14 a bottle. The Vira, $15 a bottle. The Mesita, $14 a bottle. Just great prices for great wines. I'm taking way too long to enjoy this one. I need to bring it back over here. Sean, thanks.
My pleasure.
We finish these things up every time with, talking about supporting local, visiting the local restaurants, doing what you can. Curbside and carryouts, of course, a big thing. These are all available for that for you guys. So is every other item on our menu. We, anything we can do to help be a part of the community, anything we can do to help, keep everybody safe and happy and eating good food, drinking good wine, whatever it is we can do, that's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, this is, besides being the middle of the week, Wednesdays, this is a great way to, break up your week. If you had a hard day at work, Wednesday,
Wine down
taste
Wednesday.
some wine, and, whether you pick it up at the restaurant or sit down at the bar and have a glass of wine.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a great place.
Well, Sean, I want to thank you. Again, next week we're going to take off, guys. We've got a lot of new things happening at the restaurants. We are going to have new menus, new wine lists, new cocktail lists. Everything's changing, and Chef is really pushing us to put out the best possible things that we can put out. So everyone's super excited. But then we're going to reconvene on the 28th. Like I said, next week, early next week. Stay tuned for a video. We'll do Facebook. It'll probably be streamed to YouTube as well. And just keep an eye out for it. We'll give you the information, the details on the next tasting. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say anything too early. The ideas are out there, but just got to make sure we do it right for everybody. So Elizabeth said, this makes me wish I still lived down the street. I'm assuming she's talking to somebody in the room. But I have so much fun doing this, and it sounds like you guys are enjoying yourselves. Please leave me some comments. Tell me about the charcuterie board. Tell me about the wines. Tell me about how we're doing. We want to keep doing this. We want to make it bigger. We want to make it better. We want to make it better for you, more interactive. Whatever we can do, you can email me. You have my email address from the business card and or just the tasting sheet. Call the restaurant. My business card has my cell phone on it. You guys can text me if you want. Just let me know, because we would love to keep doing this for you guys, and just let me know what we can do better. Let me know what you're interested in. The champagne was a great job. Dan said thank you. We love this. Dan, I got a chance to meet you the other day. Thank you. That was awesome, so I appreciate you. And even everybody willing to do the little package price for this one. Nobody said anything. It was just a great idea. Chef did a fantastic job with that, so it's a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, happy Wednesday. Happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys out there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.